5 things that caregivers need to keep in mind. You become a good listener. You have to listen to the person you're taking care of. They should be involved in all decisions, and especially like during a doctor's appointment, they can't be talked about as if they aren't in the room. Even if they need a little help answering questions, it is important that the loved one that you're caring for has a voice still and feels like they have a voice still. Number 2, also you have to be a good listener. Enjoy the moments. This is the time where you have to find out where you can find common ground, whether it's talking about a memory that they have, or for me, in my case, it was learning how to bake a pecan pie, and being in the kitchen with my mom and talking to her about the recipes and how does it taste. And so you definitely have to have a moment where you can share with them. But it's you finding the common ground that brings you together, where you can laugh together and spend time together. That's number 2. And number 3 is listen to the experts. There's a lot of information out there, and even though there's a lot of information out there on the internet, there's nothing like talking one-on-one with doctors, or if your loved one maybe has, for example, dementia or Alzheimer's, and they have support groups, but you load up your questions, and during the visit, you get a chance to talk to the doctors and let the doctors explain. They go to school a long time to be able to learn and know about about the different things that are different challenges that your loved one might be experiencing. So consult the physicians. I only speak from a person as a caregiver from experiences that I had. So there's nothing like talking to physicians and doctors about your loved one. Number 4, out of the top 6 things that you should do when I call it just basic caregiving. Number 4 is talk to other caregivers. There are support groups. Although I have not been to a support group, but I don't mind talking to individuals who have experienced what I'm experiencing. I don't mind learning from. I take being a caregiver very seriously, so it's very important to talk to other caregivers. Very, very important. And it might be something that I'm going to look into. You'll have to stay tuned, but just to check in and see how you're doing, how you're feeling. Maybe they can see something that you don't see. Sometimes you're so busy doing stuff that we very rarely take time, slow down and check in with ourselves to see what's going on. Are we good? So I think a support group would be good, other caregivers, and you can ask questions, and I think that's always a great idea. Of course, these are not in order of importance, because this next one I think should be close to number 1, if not number 1. Once you've made a decision to become a caregiver, and once it's firm, you've got a plan, you've checked all the boxes, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, and you are in there taking care of your loved one, I say you need to think about a vacation. Not think about a vacation, but plan a vacation. Buy a ticket 3 months out, 6 months out, 1 week out. Buy a ticket and make it happen. It is so important to take breaks. I mentioned it in one of my earlier videos. A good friend of mine, Ebony, she told me, she said something very profound, which was, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help somebody else. So if you as a caregiver are not taking care of yourself, then you're doing a disservice to your loved one or person you're taking care of. Very important, taking care of yourself. And that can be in various ways. I go to the park, sit at the park, walk around, let my feet touch the grass, stand in the shade and just walk around, hear the birds, and they've got a lake close by, or so, and maybe a couple laps around the track. So there's ways to take a break. There's ways to take a break.
And number 6, you're taking on a lot of things. Do not take on guilt. Guilt is an emotion that will try to take you off your path and your purpose. So do not take on guilt. It is pretty common as a caregiver, a family caregiver, to not feel like you've done enough. Sometimes you feel like you haven't done enough. You have to remind yourself that you're doing a very difficult job, and you're doing it for the right reasons, and you're doing the best that you can. So you can't get distracted with guilt. And that completes the 6 things you should know when becoming a caregiver, or reminders that you may need along your path. I invite you to like, subscribe, and comment. The name of the channel is Help. My parents are getting older. I'm a new content creator, but I have experienced family caregiving. Thank you for listening. Until next time.